Hey guys, it's Corinne here from It's So Corinne, and I am so excited that you are here for today's tutorial. Now before we begin, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the It's So Corinne YouTube channel so you get alerts when I make new videos, just like this. And if you would like to see other sewing, crochet, and craft tutorials with step-by-step instructions and snag free printable patterns, be sure to visit my blog at itsocorinne.com. So are you ready to begin? Then let's go make something amazing. Hey guys, for today's tutorial we will be making this super cute and easy zippered pouch that has zipper tabs on the end, so that way the zipper lays flat. As you can see, it's completely flat. That's because of the tabs. And I love pouches and I use them for absolutely everything, and this is a super easy project, and start to finish you could do it in about 30 minutes, which is super handy, especially if you want to give them as gifts. Now to make the easy zippered pouch, the first thing you need is quilting cotton in 2 colors. You could probably get away with just getting 1/4 of a yard of each, but I never buy under 1/2 a yard when I go and buy fabric. But you could totally go through your scraps and see if you already have fabric, because you don't need much of it for this pouch. Next on the list is going to be Fusible Fleece. I love Fusible Fleece and I use it anytime that I can, if possible. But if you don't have Fusible Fleece, you could totally use traditional batting. I just like Fusible Fleece because I like to cut it smaller than my pieces I fuse it to, so that way it reduces bulk in the seams. Next, you are going to need a 7-inch zipper. And yes, I can read, this is not 7, but I did not have a 7-inch zipper in this color, so I got a 9-inch, and that's completely fine. As long as your zipper is 7 inches or longer, we can cut it down later. And then you are going to need coordinating thread to match your fabric and use that on the machine. And lastly, you are going to need an old pair of scissors. When you cut down your zipper, you do not want to use your traditional sewing scissors, because if you do, you will blunt them. So these are my old sewing scissors that I like to use. I call them my zipper scissors now. And so once you have gathered your supplies, we can begin. The first thing you're going to do to make your easy zippered pouch is take your 2 fabric pieces that are the zipper tabs, and we are going to fold those in half, and we're going to press them. And then you're going to open it up. You're going to put the 2 sides to the center. Now you can press them right here, but I like the cheater's way. I just close it up. I press it again. Because it's so small, I have been burnt quite a bit in my life, so I try to prevent burnage now. Okay. So that is your first tab. Super cute. So we're just going to repeat that for the second tab. And press it really well. Close that up. Put them to the middle. Close that up. And press that. Okay, so we are ready to move on to the next step. So we're going to set one of these tabs aside, and we're going to take our zipper, and I like to start with the side that has the metal tab, or I should say metal stopper, and I put my zipper on the inside. You open your little tab and you put it on the inside, and then you close it. And I like to keep the metal stopper on it, so that way the zipper, when it's open, doesn't shove into the fabric. So all you're going to do is take your clips or your pins and pin that down here. And then we are going to go to the sewing machine, and using a 1/8 inch seam allowance, we are going to sew across here. And I like to do that a couple of times, so that way when the zipper is opening and closing, it's not stressing that seam. Once you have sewn over the seam a couple of times, all you're going to do is take your scissors and you're going to cut right beside the zipper tape. you want to make sure that you don't cut the zipper tape. And I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see my zipper tape right there. And you can see the fabric. So we are cutting just right beside it. I like to do the other one from behind. Use the zipper tape as a guide. As you can see, you don't have to worry about trimming your threads or anything because we're going to just cut those right off. And then there you have it. There's your first zipper tab. Super cute. And now what we're going to do is we're going to trim. We're going to trim the zipper down to the correct size. So what I like to do is I like to take a Wonder clip, this little guy, and clip it to my ruler at the 0 mark. So that way I don't have to keep fussing with it. So once we do that, can you see that? So I have that at the 0 mark. And then this is super important, guys. Make sure you unzip your zipper. If you don't, you're about to cut off the pull and then your zipper is wasted. So what we're going to do is we are going to measure this to 7 inches, which there's my 7-inch mark right there. And you're going to take your old sewing scissors, or just plain universal scissors, and then you're going to cut this to 7 inches. Now, if you are using a 7-inch zipper, obviously you can skip this step. So that's almost 7. Just gonna trim this little bad boy up. Okay, there's 7. And then we're going to match the other side to it. Okie doke. And then we're going to take this off the ruler. Got stuff everywhere. And you're going to take your other tab right here. You're going to open that up, and then you're going to put your 2 ends of the zipper on the inside of that. And you're going to make sure, I don't know if you can tell, yeah, there you go. They need to sit side by side. You want to make sure that you don't have anything like crisscrossing up here like this. You want to make sure that they are sitting completely flat and that they are to the complete edge of the tab. You just take your clips, clip it just like we did a minute ago, and you're going to take that over to the sewing machine, and you're going to do just like what we did over here. You're going to sew across twice with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. And you do that twice, and then we'll return. After you have finished sewing your second tab, all you need to do is trim up the sides to be even with the zipper tape like we did on the other side, and then set it aside. Next, take your fabric A piece, your main body fabric A piece, and then take one of your fusible interfacing pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to press this piece really well first. Then you're going to put the fabric A piece wrong side up, and then you're going to put your fusible fleece with the glue side down. And then I did trim this up. I trimmed it slightly smaller so that way my seams don't have as much bulk, because I do have a regular sewing machine and it does not like when it's super bulky. So all we're going to do is we're going to press on the other side. We're going to adhere the fusible fleece to the back side of fabric A. Now, depending on what type of fusible fleece you're using, you want to read the manufacturer's instructions and do what they say, because they know how their product works the best. And again, you want to press your fabric really, really well before you put the fusible fleece on the back. Because if you don't, it will keep the wrinkles there for forever, and then it will always irritate you. Once your finished pouch is done, then that would irritate me forever. So here's the second piece, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the process for both fabric and main body pieces. You're going to press them really well. You're going to trim down your Fusible Fleece to be slightly smaller. Put the glue side down. I don't like to press straight onto the Fusible Fleece because it will stick to your iron. And then it also makes it almost melt, so it doesn't give you that fluffiness that we're looking for. Okay, so once you have done that, we can start assembling our zippered pouch. So you're going to take your front main body piece, figure out which one you want in the front. I think I want that one to be the front. And we're going to lay that right side down. And I'm laying it sideways, so this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom. And then we are going to take our cute little zipper, and here's the pull. It's going to be on the left, and you're going to lay that face down on top. Here, let me move this so you can see it better. So I have the main body piece, this is the top, and then I have the zipper with the zipper pull to the left, and then face down, teeth down. And you're going to put that right in the middle of your piece. You want a gap on either side. The zipper is not going to be the length of this. It is purposely shorter. And then you're going to take one of your lining pieces, and you're going to place that right sides down. And what we're doing is we're making a sandwich. So you have lining, pretty side, right side down. Then you have the zipper with teeth down. And then you have the outside fabric, right side facing up. And we are going to clip or pin this at the top here. And you want to make sure that your two sides are lined up for the lining and outside pieces. And all you need to do is go to your machine, and using a 1/4 inch seam and your zipper foot, you want to sew along this line right here. Once you have finished sewing your zipper seam with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to open it up, put the lining piece behind the front piece, and then you're going to press this really well, making sure that your lining and your main piece are lining up on either side. And I like to press the seam. And guys, if you don't like the way your zipper looks right now, now is the time to fix it. Like, if you don't like how it doesn't look straight, you could try doing a seam closer to the teeth and fix it, or even seam rip it. But if you don't fix it now, you're gonna have to rip out the whole thing if it irritates you. So see if you like how your zipper looks, and I do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the other outside piece, we're gonna lay that. This is the main body fabric 8 piece. We're going to lay that right side up, and we're going to put the zipper and the other main body piece right side down, right on top. And you want your sides to line up like this. So you want your main body pieces to be kissing each other, right sides facing each other. And then make sure it's up here to the edge, like so. And then you're going to take your last lining piece, and you're going to do the same thing as we did with the outside pieces. We are going to do the right sides kissing each other. And you're going to line all this up, and then you're going to clip it. And again, using your zipper foot, you are going to do a 1/4 seam allowance and go across the entire edge. Once you have finished sewing your other side, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to open it and pull it out. Make sure your lining and your outside pieces are pulled out. There's no wrinkles or anything. And then we're going to press this really well, so it lays down. And now we are going to move on to assembling our pouch. So all you want to do is make sure you unzip the zipper at least halfway. Otherwise, this is going to be very frustrating in a little bit. So unzip your zipper. And then what you want to do is we are going to open this back up. and we are going to match up the side seams. So you see your two seams, you want to pinch them together. And when you're doing zipper tabs and you sew around it, this is where the zipper tab is, right at the tip of my Wonder Clip right here. We are not going to sew through that. Guys, we are going to sew right beside the zipper tab. We are not going to actually hit that at all. It's going to be free floating. That's what enables the zipper to lay flat. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to get our two seams together and pinch that together. And I like to mark exactly where my zipper tabs are. So here's the zipper tab that ends right here, and then there. You could feel it if you touch through the fabric. And I like to do that so that way I know exactly where to sew beside. And so what we have is our two lining pieces, right sides together. And we have our two outside pieces, right sides together. And what you're going to do is you're going to clip or pin all the way around. So that way we have it together. And then using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, we are going to go over to the machine. And we're going to sew around the entire thing. But we are going to make sure to leave a turning hole in the lining. And you want it to be about 2 inches wide. So however you want to mark it, this is where my turning hole is going to be, and it is going to be in the lining, guys, the bottom side of the lining. So we have, this is where a zipper is, the two sides, and then the bottom. This is where my turning hole is going to be. And you want to start here, and you want to go put your machine in reverse and forward a couple times to lock in the stitches, and you're going to go all the way around, completely around, and then you're going to finish right here. So go to your machine and with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, sew around the entire thing. Once you have sewn around your entire easy zippered pouch, you can trim up the edges and the seams, and then you're going to take that 2-inch hole that you left, and you're going to turn this right side out. Now, to get the corners and stuff out, I suggest using some sort of turning apparatus. I use a plastic chopstick that I found at a resale store, and it is one of the handiest tools I have ever found, because it helps you to turn. Of course, they sell turning tools as well, but I find that the turning tools are a little short, so my little plastic chopstick works way better. Now, as you're pulling, you want to make sure that you're not damaging the seams of your lining. So I like to put my fingers there and hold the seam as I'm pulling the little pouch through the hole. So that way I'm not stressing that seam and ripping the fabric or anything crazy. And once you get to the zipper, if you could unzip it more, it could be helpful. Aha, there we go. So you just want to gently pull this out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of convincing to get out. Okay. Okay, cool. This is looking good. So you just want to take whatever you have that you're using, and you want to push out the seams. Make sure that nothing's weird. There's no holes. That nothing looks wonky. And then you want to take the side seams and see how it's like this. You just want to push it up. And then I like to go in the lining and push the seam out with my finger. And do the same with the other one. There we go. That popped out really nice. And then before I sew anything, to finish it, I like to shove the lining into my pouch and make sure that the lining fits. Sometimes I've had troubles with like linings are too big, but that's That's an easy fix. You can just turn it right side or wrong side out again and just sew around the seam again. So that looks pretty good. I like the way it looks. So last thing I will do is pop your turning apparatus through the hole. And as you can see, that's why we didn't sew through the tabs, because they're going to just sit right on top. Okay, that's good. And if you zip it, make sure everything looks like you want it. And then we're going to just press this bad boy. So cute. And I love the way it looks. So I'm happy to complete it. So all you got to do to complete it is take the lining out. Make sure that when you're doing this that all the lining corners are out of the way. And all you're going to do is if you pull this, you see how it automatically just folds under? So all you have to do is press this, keep your fingers out of the way, and then go over to your machine. I'm going to clip this here, and then we're going to go over to the machine and we're going to do a 1/8 inch stitch and just try to get as close as possible to the edge. Just make sure that you are catching both of these sides, y'all, so there's no hole. Once you have sewn the turning hole in the lining, all you have to do is press it and put it back into the pouch, and then press the pouch really well. And it is ready to be used or gifted. Now this pouch is super easy and can be completed start to finish in about 30 minutes, which is a total win in my book. Now if you've liked this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the It's So Granny YouTube channel so you get alerts when I make new videos, just like this. And to see other crochet and sewing tutorials and snag the free printable pattern to this project, be sure to visit my website at itssocorinny.com. So until next time, go make something amazing.